Okay, well, thanks for coming back. I am glad that you are not giving up already, because I know this language is hard. I didn't scare you away with the pronunciation yet. So finally, we're going to start being able to string some stuff together. So today we're going to focus mostly on vocab and how to introduce each other. You know, like my name is, I live in Paris, in Atlanta, whatever, and just the simple stuff. And starting next week on, we'll start messing with grammar, you know, like articles, gender, pronouns, that kind of stuff to really start building sentences. Dana, as per tradition, what are you eating? Texas Roadhouse? From what I gather? Yeah, bon appetit. You don't.
So I got a nice house salad. I've got the biggest bag of rolls known to man, like the size of my head.
Uber jealous.
And I've got some steak and corn sitting in here for me when I'm eating my salad. So I don't know what I'm prepping for, but I'm prepping for something.
All right, so first comes first, like hello in French. So the most traditional version of that in French. Let's try it. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Perfect. So notice that we go very like sing song, right? It's kind of like a da da, like almost like I'm ringing a doorbell. Totally fine to do that. By the way, you will be treated way differently in France if you say bonjour when you come to any sort of establishment, shop, whatever, like the bakery, a hotel. Use bonjour and use the equivalent of please or thank you that we're going to learn in a sec. But yeah, that makes a huge difference.
No problem. Georgia Peach, hospitality. I got you.
So then the equivalent for good evening, bonsoir.
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 Fantastic. Now, casual works for high and by all at once. Salut.
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 Myself, I tend to say salut much more with my friends and family. I don't really use bonjour, bonsoir for family and friends. It just sounds too traditional for me. So that's a perfectly acceptable version once you get past the just like, you know, basic interactions.
But you wouldn't say salut to like when you're like when you're walking into a bakery, for example, you say bonjour.
That would be weird. That's one of the very few moments, like anything that has to do with customer service, you know, like any sort of interaction when you're talking to a representative, like, you know, like a cashier or anything like that. That's one of the extremely rare moments where I do not cross that line of formality. Because we'll see soon that you have two versions. Well, actually, the next line right there. Comment vous appelez-vous versus comment tu t'appelles. The top one, that's formal. The bottom one, that's casual. So, vous is formal, tu is casual. Kind of like in Spanish, you kind of have the same difference,
tu
right?
instead, yeah.
Exactly. I would say French people are much better at switching to tu very quickly. Because like in some Latino countries, for example, you do not switch to tu. That's like weird, right?
Hardly
like,
at all.
Yeah. But for French people, no. Yeah, you can switch pretty easily. However, anything customer service, that's where I'm just never switching unless I actually know the person outside of work.
Cool.
All right, well, let's try that. Let's try those words. That's a lot of words. So let's take them slowly. Comment.
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 Okay. Vous.
Vous.
We're going to do a liaison between the next two. Vous appelez.
Vous appelez.
And then another one, vous. So let's try that all together. Comment vous appelez-vous?
Comment vous appelez-vous?
That's traditional. That's formal, respectful. Not sure if you're supposed to be casual. That's the safe option. If I'm meeting someone at a party, for example, I'm introduced to a friend of a friend, I'm going to use the next one instead. Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Parfait. Now, just if I'm picky with pronunciation, just one small detail, be careful about that U, right? U. Remember, it's not tu, it's tu, like top lip. Yes, like that.
Tu.
Let's try it one more time. Remember, if it feels uncomfortable, you're doing it right.
Like that face.
Exactly. Tu. Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Parfait. You know what I was thinking the other day? Honestly, in your head, think of like, what's his face? Zoolander. You know?
I was about to say, it's very steel. It's very like
steel.
monkey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Think like that. Comment tu t'appelles?
Is this similar to Spanish in that like obviously unfamiliar, familiar, but like would you, if it was somebody was like your superior or like your elder in your family, like your grandpa, would you still usually use the formal or would it be like, you can relax?
You know, it's interesting. We'll talk about it too when we'll tackle subject pronouns. Well, I mean, personal pronouns. Yeah, in France, it depends on what, I guess, social class you're from. Like, if you're
Mhm.
someone from a more traditional family, you still have some people that will use vous. My name is. That's a really good one to know. Remember that e modified by double L? That's like an accent on it, right? So, like back there. Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Very good. Enchanté.
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 Okay, so that vous again versus tu, same idea. Comment allez-vous?
Comment
Comment
allez-vous?
allez-vous?
Comment tu vas?
Comment tu vas?
Très, très bien. Now, notice there's an extra little detail to glance right here that we will study eventually. The way you format a question is differently if you want to sound proper versus if you want to sound casual. The casual one is literally like the normal way you would build a sentence, like subject, verb. But the proper way is verb, subject. Like, that's formal. Like, in English, you don't say how you are, you say how are you.
Yeah.
Right, so that's kind of mirroring that, and that's the old-fashioned way in French. So it kind of goes hand in hand with that formal type of tone. I could
Yeah,
still use the casual version of a question with vous, that would be fine, but it just abundance of, caution. If you want to sound formal, that's what you will usually see.
Sorry, I have lots of questions today.
Go for it.
Is enchanté something people that actually say? Because I feel like that's such a stereotypical, like Americanized, like that's what a French person would say. Is that real or am I okay?
No, it is real.
I
It
feel
is
like
real.
it's like so stereotypical what you would see, like what they would have the French person say.
It's a stereotype for a reason, yeah. This one would actually use. There are a couple of things that I'm not going to teach you. Like, I don't know if you heard comme ci, comme ça, for example. Like, right, yeah, that one is a stereotype. You're not really using
C'est
that
la vie.
anymore. Say that, well, c'est la vie, I could still probably use, but I have other versions of c'est la vie that would work a little bit better. Probably, for example, I would probably instead say c'est comme ça. C'est comme ça would be more like... c'est la merde! C'est la merde! Yes, you have some stuff like that too. C'est comme ça would be more like, it is what it is.
Sure.
So you have some other stuff, and so yes, there is a range of like super popular but like overused versus like casual / common slang, that kind of stuff. So I'm teaching you more like the middle of the ground. I'll teach you some slang, but I'm teaching you like the stuff that will go pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
The slang regional though too, like
yes,
South versus Paris.
Oh, very much so. It's kind of interesting of a phenomenon because you have the same thing happening in the US where more and more with time, you have pockets of slang or pockets of accents that are disappearing because everybody's online, like it's just kind of getting neutralized and everybody's just using the same stuff. In France, we're starting to have that thing happen, but you still have very, very strong pockets of accents and local kind of lingo surviving, like even dialects. You have full-on dialects in some areas. Like, I don't know, for example, take for Spanish, Catalan, for example, right? Yeah, it's super, super strong. So you still have Basque, for example, near Spain. You have Breton in Bretagne that is literally sounding like Scottish. Where I'm from, you have Nissa or Provençal, where it's like, it sounds like Italian suddenly, right? So instead of, for me, for example, with my friends in Nice, instead of saying, I don't know, like my French equivalent of, hey, what's up? Hey, salut, qu'est-ce que tu fais? Well, actually, for me, it would sound more like, oh, allora, che fa? Right? So really with more of an Italian twang to it. So it depends. It depends where you're from. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you know the local lingo, but it's a great way to break the ice, to learn like a few alternative words, especially in the South. People will really appreciate that type of stuff. And the next one, really good to know. Ça va?
Ça va?
Ça va?
So this one is super interesting. It's how are you, but not only that, it's is everything okay? Did you understand? All good? It's like kind of like a catch-all thing like that. It is technically kind of casual, but I could still use that with my boss, for example, if I still used vous, and I want something quickly out the door. Great stuff to know. I'm going to use this one with you guys a lot. When I'm going to ask if you understood something, I'm asking you ça va, usually.
Okay.
And guess what for an answer? Next page.
Ça va.
We could also use ça va as an answer.
Oh.
Ça va. Let's practice that just very quick. So ça va going up is a question. Ça va going down is an answer. Ça va?
Ça va?
Ça va.
Ça
Ça va.
There you go, like that. A very casual question now, like more of a what's up in English. Do you see that de right here? Now, if I were to pronounce it fully like we learned, it would be like this. Quoi de neuf? Quoi de neuf? But the faster you speak in French, the more those e sounds are getting crunched. Like they're really just getting cinched in between two other words. So here it's almost like I'm going to fuse that de, like it's not de anymore, it's just a D sound. I'm going to fuse it to quoi. So suddenly from quoi de neuf, quoi de neuf. Quoi de neuf.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's try it like that. Quoi de neuf.
Good enough.
Perfect, perfect. Especially the Parisian accent, they really just like chop things up and just whip him around like that. Quoi de neuf. Next one. Well, I gotta explain. In France, we're downplaying those answers. The answer of those questions, like how you doing, like everything okay, all that kind of stuff. We like really just downplaying it. So you know the stereotype of like a French person who's like, like if you've seen Inside Out 2 recently, right? The stereotype with ennui.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, we do that. We do that a lot. So not bad. Pas grand chose means not much. Pas mal down there means not bad. A lot of French people tend to really underplay those type of answers, and it's kind of having the opposite effect. So for me, if I say pas mal, then I'm actually fine. I'm okay. I'm doing good. We rarely just kind of are over the top with our answers for that kind of question. It's not like I'm great, I'm doing awesome, right? It's usually you'll hear that stereotype. French people think like Americans are like a little bit too over the top on that, but it's honestly because we're not used to it usually.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. So a little blasé, right? A little bit.
Yeah. It's like, leave me alone.
Pretty much.
I didn't ask
pas mal.
because I wanted an answer, actually.
For real.
Yeah.
This is literally like that. It's like, let's just get this interaction out of the way. And if we want to talk about something else, we talk about something else. But it is not an invitation for a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's try it. Pas grand chose.
Pas grand chose.
Pas grand chose.
Ça va.
Ça va.
Ça va.
Now, you could still add some stuff to ça va, like très bien, like pas mal. You could add that stuff to it. Or just in isolation. You don't have to use ça va with it. So très bien and pas mal could also be used by themselves. So let's try it together with ça va right here. Ça va très bien.
Ça va
Ça
très
va
bien.
très bien.
Pas mal.
Pas
Pas
mal.
mal.
That makes sense so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. Next page. So to say goodbye, just a few options. That re, same goes. Crunch it. So it's not au revoir. Let's just jump over it. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
That's brutal with that R, right? So,
Yeah.
one more time.
Luckily,
Just,
that was not too bad because that's one you hear a lot.
Right.
So
yeah. So think like, again, hollow. Barely. Au revoir.
au revoir.
Au revoir.
Very good. À bientôt.
À
À
bientôt.
bientôt.
À plus tard.
À plus tard.
Très bien. By the way, à bientôt and à plus tard. See you soon, see you later, without any implication of time. Whenever. The next one, it has the word heure, which means hour. So I'm thinking today or in the next few hours or the next 24 hours at least. All right, let's try that. À tout à l'heure.
À tout à l'heure.
Très bien. Bon weekend.
Bon weekend.
Bon weekend.
I love those.
We tend to steal a lot of stuff from English. So you could technically say bonne fin de semaine, which you will hear more in Quebec. But in France, you will hear bon weekend. Yeah.
That's funny.
Now that's
Bon
the one.
weekend.
That's the one detail that is kind of funny to me. A lot of French people, and you won't hear it that much anymore. But a lot of French people love ragging on like English or Americans in general, that kind of stuff. Yet we steal so much vocab from you guys. It's just not even funny. So yeah, no. Like you can take all of that and put it in the trash where it belongs. That kind of criticism is not warranted with how much stuff we stole from you.
That's
So
hilarious.
a few more options on the next page. Ready?
Mhm.
Remember that O, so here it's more because of that double N. Bonne journée,
Bon
Bonne
journée.
journée.
bon après-midi.
Bon
Bon
après-
après-midi.
Very good. That B-O-N right there, I'm actually doing a liaison and that has the same effect on that O, right? If not, it would be bon. But here, bon après-midi.
Mhm.
Next one, bonne soirée,
Bon soirée.
Bonne soirée.
bonne nuit.
Bonne nuit.
Very good. Just to be careful with bonne nuit, the word nuit like that I would reserve for if either you or I or the any of the people implied in that conversation, someone is going to bed or someone is going to go to sleep, right?
Or leaving for the night. Would you be like if you're leaving someone's house for the night?
Well, that's the thing. I could still use bonne soirée then.
Oh, okay.
So bonne soirée has the implication goodbye, have the good rest of the night type of thing. Bonne nuit is really just like it's time to go to bed.
Dreams. Yeah.
Well, sweet dreams in a sense,
Yeah.
yes. Sweet dreams.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, next page. Please, thanks, etc., etc. S'il te plaît.
S'il te plaît.
And that too, actually, you'll hear this one. But if I go really fast, I could kind of crunch it. Like within friends, for example, if you're even more casual, you will literally hear this. S'il te plaît.
Stupid.
Like that s'il, like, just like, s'il te plaît.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah, kind of a thing. The next one, super useful, like bakery, coffee shop, etc., etc., etc. S'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
Très, très bien. So, like for example, let me give you a real example of if I'm ordering at the bakery, because I know now you know how to say un croissant, right? We practiced that.
Mm-hmm.
So you go at the bakery and skip like I would like. Go straight to bonjour, un croissant s'il vous plaît. Simple yet effective.
And you get a croissant for your trouble.
The best kind of reward.
Yeah.
All right, so next one. Merci.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
And you don't have to be super strong with that R, right? Merci.
Okay.
Merci.
Merci.
You depending on the accent again.
Almost like Messi.
Yeah, almost like that.
Lionel.
So depending on where you are, you might hear more of a stronger R. Like if you're, I don't know, like for example in Strasbourg or in Marseille, maybe you will hear some stronger R's like merci, right, something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
but if you're going really fast and you're in Paris, for example, merci.
Okay.
Cool. Next page. My pleasure, for example. So it's not a one-to-one translation. This is an idiom. Unfortunately, you kind of have to take it as it is. But it's literally the word to praise in French. Prie. All right, so je t'en prie.
Je t'en
Je t'en prie.
Je vous en prie.
Je vous
Je vous en prie.
Très, très bien. The next one, literally my French equivalent from the Spanish, de nada. So casual, right? Don't worry about it. It's nothing. De rien.
De rien.
De rien.
Next one, super casual. That's really like, don't worry about it. De, crunched again. Pas de
Okay.
quoi.
Pas
Pas
de
de
quoi.
quoi.
Fantastic. Like think like pad thai, for example, right? Pas de
Yep.
quoi.
Pas de quoi.
Pas de quoi.
Any questions so far?
No.
All right.
So
Next.
wait, would you say? I didn't notice that it said casual and formal. I changed my question. I was gonna ask the difference between the two. My pleasures.
Yeah, so
Good.
je t'en prie, that's with the tu form. Je vous en prie, that's with the vous form. So that's where the difference lies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next page then. Excuse me. So you have, again, a vous form on top and a casual form on the bottom. Those are respectively the vous form conjugated for excuse, literally the verb to excuse. Vous first, tu second. Excusez-moi.
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 Try to put an actual X right here. Excusez-moi, right? Excusez-moi.
Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Is it you or ou?
U. Like, up. Yeah.
Excusez-moi.
Très bien. Excuse-moi.
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 Très, très bien. If you actually hear it super fast, this one, you might just hear excuse, right? Excuse-moi.
Okay. Excuse.
But if you do pronounce the E, or the A rather, try to actually do an X. Excusez-moi.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a Z sound, right? Excusez-moi, not an S sound. Usually this one I will hear an accent on it. Like if people don't pronounce it right, I would hear it this way instead of excuse. Like excusez-moi, 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 right?
Excusez-moi.
There you go. Next one, pardon.
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 Je suis désolé.
Je
suis désolé.
Or just désolé.
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 Now, pause. Using those very quick. Excusez-moi or excuse-moi, that's perfect to ask for someone's help, right? Excuse me, could you point me in the right direction? That kind of stuff, right? Pardon and désolé, I would actually just say for apologizing. And two extra details that might be interesting. The first one, French people will usually use that kind of stuff in rapid succession pretty quickly. Let's say if I bump into someone else accidentally in the street and I want to profusely apologize. Oh, excusez-moi, pardon, désolé.
Okay.
Right? So don't panic if that happens to you. If you catch one of them, usually if it's rapid fire like that, you're pretty sure that the rest means the same.
Mhm.
Ça va? That actually goes with all of those like politeness type of things, like hello, goodbye, thank you. People would usually string them along pretty quickly. That's a reflex I had to get rid of actually when I worked customer service for a second. I to kick the habit in English of using several versions of goodbye when it was time to say goodbye. So, for example, bye, have a good day, have a good one, bye. Right? Something like that. So for me in French, it's perfectly normal to have several versions of that in a row. It's just to make sure your message comes across right. But yeah, you don't have
That's
to do
the
that.
same in Spanish.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that in French if you don't want to, but just be careful that be aware that it's going to happen to you. And another cultural note, you could technically express sympathy using je suis désolé. Right in English, I don't know, like let me give you an example. I had a sucky day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Right? Perfectly fine in English. In French, you could technically do it this way, but most people will not understand it right. Because that will usually imply I'm responsible for it. So I'm apologizing, right? So you'll still hear désolé used in like a I feel for you type of thing, but that's usually will be for like much stronger stuff like condolences. Right? That makes sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, save that for apologies, basically. Cool. Any question?
Mm-mm.
All right, cool.
Oh, good.
Next one. Santé.
Something.
So that's the classic one. French people, though, they tend to like to imitate the sound of clinking glasses. So for me in French, that's the
Cute.
next one. Chin chin.
Chin
Chin.
chin. That's so cute.
Next
Is
one.
it true also? I heard that they say like if you're like going into your house with your family, you say like cuckoo.
Oh, cuckoo. Yeah, I forgot to teach you that one. Yes. Cuckoo is fine. It's kind of a little bit more cutesy. It's technically high, but we're imitating the noise of a cuckoo clock, literally. Cuckoo. So
Oh, but
That's
it's
something
like
more like
hello?
that's like a grandmotherly thing, like to her
yeah,
grandkids, maybe.
that's actually not a bad assumption. It's cute. It's cute. So
Yeah.
I would say that, for example, if I'm calling my mom and I'm saying hi, yeah, I would use cuckoo, or she would use it too.
Mhm.
It would just be weird, for example, for me to go in the bakery and instead of saying bonjour, saying cuckoo. It would
I'd
be-
be like,
Yeah. And be like, okay.
I heard it before as a customer, when I worked in a tennis club. I used it. Like I heard it used by a few clients of mine. But it's just like yeah. So I mean,
seems
there's
like
nothing.
very similar to the like, hi BB kind
Yeah,
of vibe.
like
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
that. Next one. Okay, classic mistake. Do not pronounce the final T. So it's not bon appetit. Let's try it that way. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Awesome. Now, I don't have to explain what it is. You probably know what it is, but literally means have a good appetite.
Mm.
It's kind of funny. I didn't notice until my wife Emma pointed it out. She noticed that in France we kind of use that instead of saying grace in French.
Oh.
So like, so nobody starts eating until you said bon appetit. Right? It's kind of like we all look at each other,
Really?
bon appetit, and then we start eating.
That's interesting. That's the same in Argentina too.
Like buen provecho, probably.
Like, yeah, they say, in fact, do they do this in France where, like, for example, if I'm at a restaurant and I'm leaving and I walk by someone and we make eye contact, I have to say provecho to them, like,
Ah.
enjoy your meal. Do they say that in France or not?
I could, but it's not as much of a cultural thing, though.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Like I wouldn't address someone else probably unless I don't know if it's the right context, but like it's not something that I would have a reflex to do.
Sure.
Cool.
Like only with the people I'm actually eating with.
Yeah.
Next one. If you're sneezing, so formal first, casual then. À vos souhaits.
À vous
À vous
souhaiter.
souhaiter.
À tes souhaits.
À tes souhaits.
That's literally like a toast to your wishes. basically.
Ah,
Oh, cool.
Cute.
okay, sure.
But
And
it's for sneezing also. It's like bless you for sneezing.
yeah, that's sneezing, exactly.
Same thing. Okay, cool.
If you're curious, there are technically two others. Like, I know in Spanish you have some of those. For example, like if you sneeze once, salud. Second, felicidad, amor. But in French, it's I'll send to you the two other ones if you're curious. But it's à vos souhaits for the first, or à tes souhaits. Let's do the casual one. À tes souhaits for the first one, to your wishes. À tes amours for the second one, to your loves. And the third one is kind of funny. À tes emmerdes, to the bullshit you have to deal with.
That's funny.
All right, next page. The classics, oui, ouais, that kind of stuff. Ready? Oui.
Mhm.
Oui.
Oui.
Classic, yes. So, yeah, in French, ouais.
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 Notice it's a little bit different, right? Oui, ouais.
Yeah.
Oui. Ouais. Yeah.
And same idea. You could use it literally the same way as in English. It could be pensive. It could be cheering. It could be depending on the intonation you add onto it, right? Like yeah, like you're cheering for example, what or something like that, right? So you have a bunch of range with those. Perfectly fine to
Ouais.
use them. Classic, no, non.
Non.
No.
So that nasal sound, right, that we worked on.
Oh.
And my personal favorite, meh, in French, it's all about the pitch. Try to go as low as you can. Bof.
Bof.
Oof.
Like very in your jaw, right? Like you feel
Oof.
it's bottom heavy. The bof.
Oof.
And then use ouais, but add an M to it and pronounce it very strong. Mouais.
Ouais.
Ouais.
Perfect. And now again, depending on the pitch and intonation you give it, it could be like, I don't really feel like going to the bar this weekend. Oh, mouais. Well, see, I just added an extra little detail. That's like, that's one of those like intangibles that is good to add. Like if you're just kind of like you could add like a little. It's like I'm not quite doing a full raspberry, but like I'm just like that.
Yeah.
What?
It's like a soft toot.
It's like a.
It's like a soft toot.
It's like a soft toot. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. A little puff.
A little puff. But if it could also be like if I asked you ça va as like did you understand and you're just like ouais, right?
Okay.
Could be depending on the pitch, depending on the intonation, you're conveying different things. Okay, any question about that?
Mm-mm.
Sweet. All right, so let's move on to introducing where you're from, where you live, talking about ourselves a little bit. Okay, so I'm from in French, super easy. We're going to use either the verb venir, which means to come, or être, which means to be, either or, it's up to you. And use de as a connector, and then whichever city. Now, it's actually easier to stick to a city for now, if you can. Because if you're going to do a state or a country, you have to know the proper preposition to use. And it's purely on gender and number, that kind of stuff in French. Compared to English, where you have like super easy stuff. It's like from, at, in, or to. In French, way much more complicated than that. So, trust me, for now, you just want to do a city, it's easier. So, let's just do a couple of examples of each. Je viens de Marseille.
Je viens de Marseille.
Je viens de New York.
Je
Je viens de New York.
Is it
And let's
de?
try-
No. Or
De.
de. That's what I thought. Okay,
Yes,
de.
good job. That's actually a good thing to know, right? Your brain might want to go de because it looks like the Spanish stuff, but it's really de. Next one. Let's do Tokyo and Rome, but with je suis. Je suis de Tokyo.
Je suis de Tokyo.
Je suis de Rome.
Je suis de
Je suis de Rome.
Parfait. Ça va? Make sense?
Mhm.
Super. Well, how do you answer ça va now?
Ça va.
Ça va.
There you go. Okay, so let me read that very quick. Tu viens d'où?
Mhm.
Je viens de Los Angeles. Et toi? Ah, génial. Moi, je suis de Bordeaux. I live in. So here, habiter is the verb to use. Habiter is one of those classic verbs. We call those ER verbs. They're super easy to conjugate. We'll see that eventually, but yeah, that's the basic type of verb. Be careful, we have to trim off je into J apostrophe right here, so fuse it, yeah. So then use a and whatever city. Let's try a couple. J'habite à Paris.
J'habite à Paris.
J'habite à Londres.
J'habite à Londres.
Parfait. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you what it looks like in reality. Tu habites où? J'habite à Versailles. Et toi? Oh, j'habite à Guyancourt. C'est juste à côté. Make sense?
Juste à côté.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parfait. All right, well, guess what we're doing? Exactly that. So, here are a few things that we can use to introduce ourselves. So, let me on the next page. Let me show you my version of it, just so you can have an example. So,
Mhm.
bonjour, je m'appelle Vincent. So, hello, my name is Vincent. Je suis prof de français. I'm a French teacher. Je suis de Cannes. I'm from Cannes, and in the south of France. Well, dans le sud de la France, but like I said, we don't really know how to do that yet. Je suis français. I'm French. J'ai 30 ans. I'm 30 years old. J'aime surfer. I like surfing. J'adore les films intéressants. I love interesting movies. Je déteste les conducteurs agressifs. I hate aggressive drivers. Voilà, ça va? Make sense?
Ça va.
Great.
Voilà.
Let's get to do that with you guys. So go ahead.
Bonjour. Okay, do I do?
Oh, yeah, and I'll help you whenever you need vocab. Okay, so if you need vocab, say it in English, and we'll do it together in French.
Okay, cool. Bonjour, je m'appelle Dawson. What would be like a French way to say that though?
Dawson.
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 Okay. Bonjour, je m'appelle Dawson. Je suis. I don't even know my job title. Let's do this one.
And also, so that's exactly why I put the two options, because sometimes it's just too hard to just express your job title. So je suis if it's easy, je travaille dans if it's an industry.
Je travaille dans hôtel.
We
hotels.
Oh yes, so hospitality, but especially for hotels in French. You're actually close. Dans l'hôtellerie. Let me actually write this down correctly. Like so. L'hôtellerie.
Okay. L'hôtel. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Okay, let me try the whole thing. Je travaille dans l'hôtellerie.
Yeah, that's good. Just careful with the S though.
L'hôtellerie. Oh, don't. Je travaille do you say the last L's and travail?
It's more like aille. Je travaille.
Je travaille dans l'hôtellerie.
Parfait. L'hôtellerie. Yeah, think hotel, but remove the H.
L'hôtellerie. Okay.
Très bien.
Je suis des.
Je
suis des. Oh yeah. Je suis de Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
Je suis American.
Parfait. Alors here you don't actually need the N at the end because it's part of that nasal sound. Américain.
Oh, okay. Je suis Américain.
Très bien. Oh, how old are you?
How do you say that? J'ai 23.
Okay, so that's going to be like this. 23. And here I need a liaison between 3 and... So 3 ans, 23 ans.
Okay. Jai, you said Jai, right?
J'ai.
Oh, Jai. Jai is Spanish, dang it. J'ai 23 ans.
Parfait. Okay, let's take our time here. What do you like?
Let's say I like swimming. I like to swim.
Okay. Oh, that's an easy one. Nager.
J'aime nager.
Parfait. What do you love?
J'adore. I love hanging out with my friends.
Ouais,
or let's do an easier one. Well, no, that's real. Let's just do that one.
All right. So hanging out with your friends. So you have two possibilities in French. The verb traîner, which is to hang out, but that's like really like traîner is like more, I don't know, like it feels like too much like the verb to hang out in English, if you know what I mean. It's like,
yeah.
Right?
You could be like pastime, like
exactly. That's better.
Like that.
I know that's gonna be a long one. Like so. So let me help you. Let's take it slow. J'adore.
J'adore.
Passer du temps.
passer du temps
avec mes amis.
avec mes amis. J'adore passer du temps avec mes amis.
Très, très bien. Super. And then for the last one, what do you hate?
Détester.
Oh, you're actually close with the intonation. If you want to exaggerate, you can separate des and test. So, je déteste. But now if I want to really exaggerate that, je déteste.
I knew it. Je déteste, say traffic, because that's what I was just in.
That's a doozy.
Shoot.
Like, so.
Dude.
Okay, let me help you. That's
Okay,
a
let me
hard
try
one.
it. Wait, can I try it first and then you tell me?
Yes.
Je déteste les embouteillages.
You're actually so close. Yes, so les embouteillages.
Les embouteillages. Je déteste les embouteillages.
Now, just one detail that I want to nip in the bud. It's not j'ai, it's je.
Les déteste les embouteillages. Wait, what? Where am I?
Je déteste.
Oh, at the end. Oh, je déteste les embouteillages. Les embouteillages.
Très, très bien. Super. You can probably recognize the word bottle right there. Right? Bouteille.
I sure do.
So, in French, we actually just say bottlenecks.
Yeah.
Voilà, les embouteillages. Cool. Dawson, I know you're busy, so if you need to
Yes.
to disconnect
so
at
much.
whatever point, feel free.
Good luck, Dana. I wish I could hear more about you.
Well, it's gonna be on YouTube, so you can check it out later.
Oh,
Then.
good. I'll watch it.
We're up to
Okay.
the end and find out
Thanks.
what
Sorry, I
I
have to.
hate.
I gotta cut out. But...
No worries,
Oh, I was
dude.
gonna ask you, Vince.
Yeah.
Would you say that, like, if I was thinking about getting Duolingo just to practice every day, would that be useful?
Yes, Duolingo for beginners is great. Once you'll start being an advanced beginner / intermediate, it'll start showing flaws. The reason why I don't like Duolingo that much, and I feel like you shouldn't really spend money for like the pro version, is because they never explain why it's wrong. They just tell you it's wrong.
Just tell you why. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll get that to help me keep like figuring out in my mouth, you know.
Absolutely. Anything as a beginner, anything that is keeping the ball moving forward is all that matters. Quantity over quality of the studying.
Cool. All right.
Sweet. Good luck.
Awesome. Well, talk to you later. Have a good week, guys.
Bonne semaine. Bonne semaine.
Bonsoir.
Well, that's a good one. Well, actually, you're supposed to say bonne soirée. Bonne soirée.
Oh, bonsoir is hello.
Exactly.
Oh, cheers.
Hey, that's the right intention, though. All right, so next page. Let's do yours now.
Okay.
Bon appétit, by the way. Cool. So, well, the first one should be easy. I'm all ears.
Sorry.
No, take it down. Here, I'll just cut that out. Like, feel free to take as long as you need. And watch me just keep it in just for fun.
Whatever. Bonjour, je m'appelle Dana. Je suis prof de dance.
Okay, je suis prof. Alors, professeur de français, I said earlier, but actually there's one extra thing you can probably do. You can just cut that word professeur like prof.
Prof.
Like so, right? Prof de danse, okay?
De danse? Is that just how you say it in French?
Oui, prof de danse.
Oh, okay. Well, je suis prof de danse. Je suis not de. Je suis coming.
Je think more like, remember when we practiced the e? I'm kind of exaggerating the wrong way because I'm telling you je, de, like very low, but it's more like alone in English, right? Like that. Je suis de.
Je suis de.
Yes.
Okay. Je suis de coming. Je suis American.
So for you, there's actually a difference right here because that's an adjective, and I'm going to use an extra E on it. Therefore, it cancels out the nasal sound because I need that N for the transition.
Okay.
So it's not américain anymore, it's américaine.
American.
Parfait.
Okay. J'ai 28 ans.
Hey, you're close. Oh, let's press that a little bit more together.
French trying to poke through.
That's good. That's good. So two things. Let's compress that and let's make that U like a little bit up. 28. 28.
28. Okay.
Yes,
28.
like that.
So
So
both T's you would pronounce.
yeah, 28 ans.
28 ans.
Parfait. Because you're doing a liaison with that 8 also. So you have that.
J'ai 28 ans.
Parfait.
Okay.
Okay, what you like?
Going on walks.
Oh, going on walks. Alors, j'aime. We're going to do me promener.
Oh, sure. Like promenade. Yeah.
Exactly.
J'aime me promener.
Très bien. What do you love?
Reading.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Lire.
Lire. So j'adore lire.
Parfait. What do you hate?
Spam calls.
Ah. Oh, crap. How do I say spam calls in
Oh,
French?
I'll do it better. I'll do a different one. I'll do different. I'll do an easier one. Avocados.
Avocados. Okay.
I hate avocados. I'm outing myself here.
All right. Damn, I didn't know that.
Here we are.
All right. Les avocats.
Les avocats. So that would be another liaison.
Yes.
Les avocats.
Parfait. Cool. Any question about this?
Mm-mm.
You're good? Ça va?
Ça va.
Fantastic. Well then, parfait. Let's now we can actually use the next one since we started talking about like hello, goodbyes and stuff like that. À la semaine prochaine.
Oh,
That means see you next week.
yes. I love. Oh, yes, yes. I want to say. À la semaine prochaine. Is that how you would say it?
Prochaine. Prochaine.
Prochaine. Like the American.
Exactement.
Okay.
Exactement.